if this is your first time on the call, I will just tell you a little bit about how it works. I will start off by doing some teaching, and as we go, if you have questions or comments, you can put those in your chat box on the Zoom call, and I will try to answer those as we go or at the end. Or if we just keep going and I run out of time or I'm not able to get to your questions, or you would like to get coached, you have a couple of options. You can email me and we can correspond that way, or just set up a consultation call and I'll be glad to coach you personally in a private consultation call. So I can make sure you get all the details for that at the end, but I'm going to go ahead and get started here so we don't get behind. The topic of our call today is why is it important for you to have a mantra? And I'm going to give you 9 reasons for you to have mantras in your life. And in coaching, what we call a mantra is intentional thoughts. I know a mantra is a little bit easier to say and possibly understand if thought work is new to you. Intentional thoughts might not make a lot of sense to you, but a mantra will work, and that will help you get the idea of what we're talking about here today. But it's just an intentional, specific thought that you choose to think, hopefully many times during the day. And the key points that I'm going to discuss today are why mantras can help you. We get distracted with the busyness of everyday life, and having a mantra or one intentional thought that you focus on can help you reach your goals and help you stay in a positive frame of mind, especially if you're dealing with a difficult crisis or situation, or we all have things that we're working on in our lives that are challenging and we want to get through them in the best way possible. So having an intentional thought that you remind yourself of throughout the day will help you stay on task to reach the goals that you have, or improve the relationships that you have, or get the outcome that you want. So it just depends on what you're working on. But mantras can ultimately do things in our lives, like help us increase our productivity. They can help you to be inspired. They can help you to change a habit. And most importantly, change your thoughts. That's what we talk about most here in coaching, is how our thoughts really create everything that we have in our lives. But I'm going to use the word mantra to describe what I'm talking about, but it could be, you could call it a motto or a life purpose or a goal that you're working on, but we're just going to call it a mantra so that we all are on the same page about what I'm talking about here. All right. So first of all, why is it so hard for us to remember our ultimate goals, like exercising for better health, or meditating for peace of mind, or eating healthier? We all have these. Probably we're all feeling similar things, that we know these things are good for us and we have the idea that we want to implement them in our lives, but we don't always keep those ultimate goals on the forefront of our mind. And one of the reasons why that happens is our brains are so amazing. They're designed to keep us alive. And because of that, our brains naturally categorize tasks or thoughts based on their importance. And the brain loves when we repeat things over and over. And also when it categorizes things based on importance, it takes whatever is new. So think about learning a new task or moving to a new town, and you need to learn your way around. In the beginning, that's going to take a lot of effort and concentration. And so your brain is going to really be concentrating and focusing on landmarks and where to make turns and remembering how to get home or how to get to work or, learning or based on your new environment. But once you get comfortable in your new home or your new town, wherever that is, you don't really have to think about it anymore. Your brain is just going to delegate all of those things that were new to you initially, like the landmarks and the street names and where to turn. Your brain is just going to delegate all of that information to the lower brain, and you're not going to have to pay much attention. You can probably drive home or drive to work without even thinking about where you're going, because your brain gets very comfortable with repeated patterns. And once you do something enough times, it will just delegate that to the lower brain, and you don't have to concentrate on it or think about it. You can just sort of go on autopilot, and your brain will make sure it gets done. It's a wonderful thing about our brains. It's great. It's good in so many ways. But when we apply that to our thoughts, it means that many, many times what happens is we just practice old thoughts. And actually, studies show that 95% of our thinking is unconscious. So just like driving home is so familiar to you and you don't really have to concentrate on it anymore, probably your most practiced thoughts that you have been thinking for most of your life, those things, you're not aware of them anymore. You just are so used to thinking those thoughts that you don't even realize that you're thinking it anymore. So the goal with coaching is to help you learn new patterns for thinking and just become more aware of the patterns that aren't working for you, and then really become really focused and deliberate on creating new thought patterns that serve you better. And in the beginning, that's going to take a little bit more effort and a little bit more focus because they're new, because you're changing how you've been doing things. But the more you practice them, the easier it will get and the more natural it will become. And mantras, having short thoughts or phrases or sayings that you repeat over and over to yourself, can help you do that. So it's one little simple way to change your thoughts and therefore your feelings and your results in your life, just by creating or coming up with mantras that work for you. Okay. So let's see. Another way that a mantra can help you is that, just like we talked about earlier, our brain likes to repeat things, likes to do the same things over and over without putting a lot of new effort into it. Just like, let's say we might have the thought that you really want to eat healthier, and you want to change your eating, but it's so much easier if you haven't planned ahead and it's lunchtime and you have a 1 hour lunch break to just go grab the fast food that is nearby, instead of making a concentrated effort to plan ahead for the healthy meal you want to have, and to find the healthy ingredients and to prepare the healthy ingredients and eat the healthier foods. Initially, it's going to take a lot of changes and planning or preparation to make that happen, but you can do it. You just have to keep yourself focused on your goal of eating healthier and remind yourself about that goal. And then it's easier to take the steps to plan and prepare and have it when you need it. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. That's why we're talking about mantras, because it can really help you in key times when you're just stuck in old patterns of doing things. Okay. So it can help you focus on things you want to have in your life and not just, live your life on autopilot or repeat. So, let's see. A good mantra is basically just a simple statement. It doesn't have to be a long, detailed paragraph. Actually, shorter is better. And if it's focused on helping you reach the goals that you want. Sometimes if it's too long or complicated, it just gets lost in space. But simple mottos actually work. And that's why large organizations and companies like, religious organizations, the Boy Scouts, 12-step recovery programs, they all use mantras or slogans to help reach the ultimate goals of their organization. So that's all about why having a mantra will help you in your life. Let's get to the 9 reasons that mantras are good for you and can help you in your life. Okay. 9 reasons why you should have some personal mantras. That's what we're going to talk about today. All right. The first reason to have a mantra is it can replace destructive thinking with healthy self-talk. Okay. Many times we subconsciously think thoughts that were planted there, maybe in our childhood, maybe 20, 30 years ago in a bad relationship or in a bad situation. But your brain, kind of like a software program that's running in the background, may have a thought that it repeats over and over, such as, you're not good enough, or you always mess up, or you always do these things. Many times we all are operating on this software that's going on in the background, no matter what is happening in our lives, and it comes up. And the more that you think those thoughts, the more you have confirmation bias that proves them right. And so you may see the same results showing up in your life over and over and over. So one of the most important reasons to have a mantra is to have healthy thoughts about yourself that you believe and you remind yourself of. Okay. So if you're telling yourself, I can never get this done, it would be really helpful for you to have a mantra that is more like, there's plenty of time. I always have time to do what I need to do. I've done it before. I can do it again. Another one is, how is this situation perfect for me? Or another one that works really well for me is, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Something that I love that Brooke Castillo teaches is B- work gets the job done. And if you're a perfectionist like I tend to be, it's really helpful to just go with good, not perfect, good. So if negative self-talk is a problem for you, this would be something that you would want to think about. What is a mantra that can help you feel better about yourself? I am enough. I am good enough. Maybe those are things you need to repeat to yourself every day, several times a day, to remind yourself that you are good enough. Okay, the second reason to have a mantra is it can help you change a habit. An essential aspect of willpower is the ability to remember your long-term goals. Okay, and a motto can very succinctly summarize why you want to change your habit, and that will give you willpower in the moments that you need to make a decision. Okay, one that comes to mind is Oprah Winfrey. When she was really trying to diet and lose weight, she had on her refrigerator and in her purse, and she repeated to herself constantly, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And that helped her make good choices for food wherever she was by thinking about how good she feels feeling skinnier. It could be as simple as health first, or exercise to stay stronger longer, or make the right thing to do the easy thing good. Or another one that a client once told me was, smoke free is a healthy me. When she was trying to quit smoking, she just kept saying that over and over and over. Another one that Brooke Castillo uses is, this way of eating is robbing me of the body I deserve to live in. So those are just some ideas for you about goal setting and how to use a mantra to help you reach your goal. Okay, the third reason to use mantras is to remind you of who you are and what you stand for. And in coaching, we choose to work on just a few at a time. And I read a story about a funeral of a beloved mother of this big family, and each of the children shared that her motto was be kind, tell the truth, do your best. And that she would just repeat that to her children every day as a motto for life. And they all remember it and were reminded, we want to be the kids our mom wants us to be. And that was their family motto: be kind, tell the truth, and do your best. I love that. Something that Gandhi is famous for saying is be the change you wish to see in the world. So I think these types of mottos are helpful. And if you're dealing with a divorce, you could really choose something that would help you focus on the goals that you have for your family. Something that I used to say to my children when I was going through my divorce and I was single was, we are still a family. Divorce doesn't change that. We are still a family. I love that. So really think about what is important to you despite going through a separation or divorce, and choose a motto that you can repeat to yourself and your family that will help you stay focused on reaching your goals for your life or your family, despite, dealing with divorce. There's so many, and they can change. It depends on where you are in your life and what you're really struggling with. And to be effective, I think it's important to change them regularly to reach your new goals, to help you in specific challenges. It's good to have ones that you have your whole life, like the mother who always taught her children their motto, but it's also good to have short-term ones that you use for, let's say, 6 months or a year to reach the goal for that year. Okay, number 4, a mantra can remind you of your values and teach character strengths. And the first one that came to mind for me about this is in our church, we teach CTR, choose the right. As soon as our children, when they're very young in the children's program in primary, we teach them CTR, and we have rings that say CTR. And I still say it to my daughter. She's 15. And when she leaves home to go out, I say, make sure you choose the right. Because that's something that's important to us. It aligns with our religious values. And I want her to remember that when I'm not there, to see what she's doing. Another one, if you have trouble or you want to work on your interactions with other people, and let's say you need to work on thinking before you speak, I like the mantra, think before you speak. That's a good one to just remind you to take a breath. And even in your relationships with your family members, I think that's a good one to remember if you're really, wanting to improve your relationships, is think before you speak. Be careful what you say. Another one that I like is, if the problem can be solved with money, then it's not that important. That's another one that I really like that I saw Joel Osteen is credited as saying. Okay, so the 5th reason why mantras can help you, or why they're important in your life, is they can help you with inspiration and focus. If you're needing some motivation, let's say to reach your goal, your career goals, or to reach your numbers for the month, it can be helpful to have on your computer or in your office some mantras that really inspire you, that remind you what you're working for. So a few that I found that I really like are: be yourself, everyone else is already taken. Maya Angelou said, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. I love that. One person can make a difference. Keep your eye on the prize. The world longs for what you have to offer. Every day is a second chance. tomorrow is another day. Let's see, one person can make a difference. I love all of those. And so it's good to just choose the one that gives you the most or the powerful feeling behind it, and then put it somewhere where you will see it every day. All right, number 6, mantras can calm your mind. If you are a person that struggles with like being hot-tempered, or let's say maybe road rage, when you get behind the wheel, you get frustrated with other drivers, it might be good to put something in your car, a mantra that works for you, to help you stay calm behind the wheel, like safety is more important than being on time, or I don't know, whatever works for you. A few that I have used in the past or that I found that I liked is keep calm and carry on. I love that. Or this too shall pass, or one day at a time, or how important is it? Like, just ask yourself, if you're a person that gets frustrated easily, how important is it? Another one is easy does it, and everything happens right on time. I love that thought. Everything happens right on time. That just helps me remember that things are working out exactly how they're supposed to, and the goals and wants and wishes that I have for my future and for my family, my children, they're going to work out right on time. Okay, the 7th reason that mantras can help you, or the 7th way they can help you, is they can increase your productivity. Having a mantra to remind you why you're working or what you're working for. I love this thought. And one that works for me is hard work feels amazing. Slow and steady wins the race. Keep on keeping on. In our workout room, my husband has a sign that says no pain, no gain, and I can do hard things. Take a break, take a breath. That would be good if you get frustrated. Perfection is the enemy of progress. That's another one that I love if you struggle with being a perfectionist. So hard work feels amazing is one of my favorites. So you'll have to kind of test them out and see what works for you, and then remember to use them in your life. Okay, number 8 reason or way mantras can help you is they can give you encouragement. I know we all have hard days, and sometimes having little reminders that really work for you, phrases that help you have calm and peace, that can really help you. Here are a few that I found that I want to share with you. Let's see. Nothing has gone wrong here. I love that thought. Everything happens for me, not to me. Okay. There's always tomorrow. Every cloud has a silver lining. There is no failure, only feedback. I love that one. And love is always an option. That's a beautiful one too. So it's just a good reminder that there are many different ways to react to a situation, and love is the best one. It feels the best. If you can choose to feel love and then act from love, you're going to get the best results, whatever the situation is. Okay, and the 9th way that a mantra can help you in your life, especially if you're going through a crisis, dealing with separation or divorce, is it can help you avoid conflicts. And even instead of a conflict, you can add humor to situations that can be contentious. So there's a lot of research that says that many times the thing that drives us after we're married, the things that drive us crazy the most about our spouses are most likely the things that we were most attracted to before we were married. So think about that. I don't know if that's true for you, or if you realize that that's true, but that's what statistics show. And in my case, I definitely see that. An example from my life is that my husband is usually really calm and quiet, on the outside at least. He's kind of slow to react or respond. He's kind of just taking it all in. But when he gets upset, he can blow up and have a temper. And kind of bottles up his emotions. And then when they come out forcefully. So I figured out, after many years of marriage, I figured out a way to help diffuse that situation when he starts to get, grumpy and explosive. And I have this one phrase that I use that helps him and me remember, like, to diffuse the situation, and it works perfectly. And so when he starts to get like that, and I can tell he's like, about to blow up, or he's yelling about something he doesn't need to yell about, I always say, keep the passion in the bedroom, honey. And it makes him happy, it makes him smile, it makes me remember. I like it when he's passionate and about some things, but not about yelling. So that's something I figured out that works for me. So you can try it. You can have that one if you like. It works for us for sure. So I want to challenge you to think about some situations in your life where you're having friction, or you're not happy, or you're not reaching your goals, or you're feeling, uninspired. I've mentioned 9 different ways that a mantra can help you. And then I want you to try to come up with mantras, or use some of the ones I've shared, to specifically focus your thoughts on addressing that situation. Like for me with my husband and his temper, it was always, when he starts to get upset, I wanted to come up with a phrase that I could use that I would remember every time, that would work for both of us to diffuse the situation. And this one, it works perfectly. So think about situations in your life where you're having tension or frustration, and then try to come up with a phrase that will diffuse the situation, or help bring you the peace that you need, or remind you of your long-term goal for that situation. For me, let's just talk about the temper situation with my husband. Ultimately, I want to have peace and calm. And I know we can talk about anything calmly as long as we're both calm. So the goal is to keep him calm, to keep communications open, and not, once he blows up and I get offended and he gets offended, it just shuts everything down. So the goal was to use the mantra before the situation gets out of control. So think about situations in your life that you really want to change, and do some brainstorming about mantras that can help you in those specific situations. Another way to get to the mantra, or the intentional thought that you want to have, is to think about the result that you want. So for me, I want my husband to be calm and happy, not frustrated. And so making him think of passion in the bedroom works every time. So that's just my suggestions for you about how to apply using the mantra in your situation. Keep it short and easy to remember. And you may even want to put it in your phone as a reminder daily, or several times a day, or as a calendar item to pop up every day on your calendar if you use that. Another way to apply it is to think of having a thought bubble for the day for yourself, and just kind of carry that thought around with you all day. You could even make it like your screensaver or your wallpaper on your phone, and change it regularly so that every time you look at your phone, you're reminded of it. And if you think about it, another thought I had is it can also work the opposite way. If you've ever heard slogans or phrases that you don't like, or like they could be like about drugs or war, or commercials on television, like there are bad mantras too that work in a negative way. And so maybe you have some of those going on in your mind. Maybe there are some thoughts that you're thinking or phrases that you're repeating to yourself, like, I'm not good enough, or I always mess up, or this always happens to me. There are negative things, negative thoughts that are floating around. Like I said earlier, maybe background software that's running that you have going on in your mind, and you need to call it up and address it. So if that's happening for you and you need help with that, this is what I do in coaching. So I'd love to help you with it if you want to work on it. That's what we do in coaching, is really find where the thought errors are happening and then address them with intentional thoughts. And it's not as easy as just, that's the bad thought, here's a good thought. It takes practice applying the intentional thoughts, having the feelings that go along with that, choosing those very deliberately, and letting those thoughts and feelings drive your actions. And that's what creates the change in your life. But it takes repetition and practice and remembering it and accountability. And that's basically what coaching is. So I'd love to help you with it. If you need help coming up with your own mantras to help you with whatever trials or troubles you're having, I can help you with that. So thanks so much for tuning in with me today, guys. I appreciate you all being here. And I hope I've given you some good mantras to consider for yourselves, and think about at least where areas that you want to make changes, and how having a mantra to focus on the goal that you want for that area can help you reach your goals. I have seen it work in my life, and I know it can work for you too. So I'm excited to share this with you. And I don't see any questions. I'm a little bit over time, but not too bad. So if anyone has questions or comments, you can let me know. Or if you want to send me an email, it's Jen@jenzingmark.com. You want to share your thoughts about today or have any questions or comments? And let's see, how can I listen to this again? Okay. So these calls are available. They are recorded, and we usually have them on YouTube within a week or so, but it would be the same title. What did I call this? 9 mantras, 9 reasons you need a personal mantra. So I will publish that within a week or two once my husband gets it all edited and uploaded on YouTube, and I will make sure to send out a notice for when that's available on YouTube. But you can search for it and watch it again later. So thanks so much. I hope you guys have a great week. I will see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.